was born. The 12th anniversary of the EFF will be held in Khayelitsha, in the city of Cape Town, Western Cape. This important gathering of our people was initially scheduled to take place in Umtata, Eastern Cape, but following the devastating floods that left many displaced and communities in mourning, the EFF made the responsible decision to relocate the venue out of respect and solidarity with those affected. This change of venue was not done in isolation or consultation, or without consultation. Together with King Khayelitsha, we visited the affected areas of Polar Park, Dikolweni, and Bambanani in Mthatha, where we engaged directly with the people, explained the reasons behind the relocation, assessed the scale of the disaster firsthand, and contributed towards relief efforts. This is how leadership must respond in times of crisis, not through press conferences or press releases, but by physically being present with the people. The chosen venue of Khayelitsha is significant. It is the second largest township in South Africa, home to thousands of poor and working-class Africans who continue to live under the weight of spatial apartheid and deliberate underdevelopment. Khayelitsha remains fiscally and economically separated from the so-called world-class parts of Cape Town. When the DA-led city speaks of a smart city, they are not referring to Khayelitsha. They are referring to the wide enclaves of Sea Point, Claremont, Constantia, and Stellenbosch, while the people of Khayelitsha are left to swim in poverty, crime, poor sanitation, overcrowding, and the lack of basic housing. It is for this reason that the EFF has chosen to host its 12th anniversary in Khayelitsha. We must be where the people are, especially the most marginalized, because they are the base, home, and shield of this movement. There is a warrant of arrest against Masemola. It's out. I don't know why it's not being picked up. It means someone somewhere is playing politics, and someone they want to undermine once more the independence of our justice system. Masemola is being arrested for what he did with Khumalo in the crime intelligence. Masemola was supposed to be arrested that week when Mkhwanazi had a press conference. So I thought Mkhwanazi's press conference was a preemptive strategy. And perhaps the arrest for Masemola is delayed by that or will be seen as if we are fighting back or anything of that sort. So it's a matter we're paying a very close attention to, because we cannot allow any more people to abuse their positions. Once a warrant of arrest is issued, it means there is some sort of evidence of wrongdoing which must be tested at the court. We will have to make sure that this is followed through. I told you a long time ago that the Minister of Police, they want to arrest Minister of Police. And that's why Mkhwanazi is being charged with IPID, because they want to pick up a Minister of Police, Senzo Mchunu. And Senzo Mchunu, in that recording, talking to his girlfriend or whoever he was talking to there, I don't know who's that person. There's a recording that is circulated. He says, you know that Julius is just talking. You know him. He just talks. Someone should have told him something, and then he just talks loosely. And then City Press writes that the plans to arrest the minister flopped or something. But it has always been there. The plan has been there to pick up the minister and arrest him. And they thought I was joking. And that's where he's going up, ultimately. be arrested. There are factions in the police. You've got minister working with Khumalo and Masemola. No. Not Masemola, the other one who got Sibiya. No, it's Minister Sibiya. Then you've got a National Commissioner working with Khumalo. So there is a power struggle there. Now, we are not interested in those things. We are interested in the truth. As to who belongs to what and what, we don't care. We want the truth to come out. What Mkhwanazi said must be repeated, backed by evidence in the ad hoc committee and in the commission of inquiry. It is now no longer an issue of just talking. Let everyone who has got an issue bring that matter before the committee, and I'm going to sit in that committee of ad hoc committee to investigate these allegations. And you know, if I'm there, there will not be manga business, because I'm not scared of police or soldiers or anyone, including drug cartels or criminals. I'm not in the pocket of any thug in South Africa. That's why I live a free life. And if I'm lucky, maybe they will elect me the chairperson of that committee so that I can sort out this issue once and for all. If they mean business, they must bring it here so I can chair it. And then you will get to the bottom of these issues. So, I don't think it's aligned necessarily to the ANC conference. I think it's a power struggle that has always been there. Every time there is a new minister in the police, that minister, and those are the mistakes they make. They start aligning with this group or the other group. But the power struggle and tussle for slush fund has always been there in the police, whether there is an ANC conference or not. Because, let's take for instance, the ANC conference is going to be a contest between Mbalula and Paul Mashatini. Both of them have got no hold over any of those factions in the police. None whatsoever. So, if you say Mchunu has got a faction, then you must know Mchunu's faction is Ramaphosa's faction in the police. That's why they said Mchunu went to classify the Pala things and all of that. So this commission and the committee will not only be limited to what Mkhwanazi said. If there was a cover-up in the Pala, it must be brought forward. Who sealed this information? Who was hiding the information from the people? So that's why we're saying, on top of commission, let's have an ad hoc committee, because the same commissions are going to say Parliament has not played its oversight role. So we are playing our oversight role now. So there is no duplication of duties. But equally, we are a committee that will make the necessary recommendations to the Assembly, and the Assembly will send, if agreed, those recommendations to the President for implementation. Unlike Zondo, who just write and then disappears into the bush. We are not disappearing into the bush. We are here. We're going to send the recommendations to him, and every time he comes here, he will have to account as to what happened to those ad hoc committee recommendations that were sent to you. So it's a very important step in the right direction. So we should not even try to politicize a criminality. It's not political. What's happening in the police is pure criminality. Pure criminality. And we have to deal with that. I mean, DJ Sambodi was killed in a very brutal manner. And knowing police, there's no way they would have taken this much to arrest a person who killed DJ Sambodi. There's that guy who was killed now 2 weeks ago at Ikuruleni. The person is already arrested. So it tells you the people who killed DJ Sambodi are highly connected. Why would the head of the Hawks confirm that he was called, that there are people who are pretending to be the Hawks at a particular venue, and then he unleashes the Hawks to go there? It's not true. Once they are saying there are people who are pretending to be police and they are not, and that information comes to his attention, he must refer it to the police station next to where those thugs are taking chances. For him to start even getting involved, he even knows the address, yet he doesn't have a docket. He has no right to open any docket. And then he says he was not called by Molefe, he was called by a friend of Molefe, and the friend of Molefe does not have a name. He's playing games. If he doesn't give us the name of who called him, he was called by Molefe. Until he give us a name, he was called by Molefe. It's like Kunene saying he was taking a journalist there. To take a journalist is not a secret operation. Who is that journalist? Who's that journalist? Why would you take a journalist to someone who just came out of prison, who's on bail, as an MMC? Now I'm very happy. You know, I dance even at night. Oh, things are looking good, Shem. We told you these things are criminals. They are nothing else but Mapantiti. He says he doesn't know that guy. He knows that guy. I know that guy. Not from a personal point of view. He's a well-known businessman. Until now, we knew him as a businessman. So, but I don't have a relationship with him like that, where I can call Patrice Motsepe or go to Patrice Motsepe's house or have tea at Patrice Motsepe's house, take my wife to Patrice Motsepe's house. Patrice Motsepe's wife knows my wife. I don't know the guy like that. But for Kenny to behave like that in public office and say he doesn't know that guy, that's a lie. It's a pure lie. And that's how thugs, 26, 28 gangs succeed. They lie. They think they can outsmart everyone. So, and Mashaya, they don't care whether you are convinced or not. They tell their story. It's done. But the Kenny's story is not coming together. The head of Hawks, Lebya's story is not coming together. That he was not called by Molefe, he was called by a friend. So you can hear this a story. An honest man would have said, I was called by Godfrey, who said, there are people who pretend to be police at Marshall's house. And that's how I landed there. Because now, once these things are out, you must know, that guy is not a whistleblower. He put you in trouble. Why not saying it? What is the difference between telling us that the name of a person who called you now with telling us that name in the commission of inquiry? What difference does it make? Why do you leave as a trusted senior policeman? Why do you leave the nation hanging? So we need to get to the bottom of this. Because once we get the name of who called the head of Hawks, then we're going to know, oh, this one is linked to this one. Because we need to get this network properly and dismantle it. And we can't dismantle it if police in the process are playing a dishonest role. Cyril and Mchunu are in the same faction. When the allegations are out, Cyril doesn't act. He says, I will act when I come back and do that. You know why? He's giving Mchunu an opportunity for Mchunu to help him by resigning. If Mchunu loved Cyril, he should have resigned and not put Cyril in that difficult position. But he doesn't care. There's no need. These comrades must tell each other the truth. Remzal, take a back seat. We'll work on this thing. Just wait. Help the president. Now the president has to do something that looks like he's doing something when he's doing nothing. He's not doing anything. Mchunu is a minister on leave. There is acting minister Mantash of police. Then there is incoming minister, acting minister of police. 3, as we're sitting here. We have 3 names when we think of police. 3. Cachalia. Cachalia is from the Indian cabal of UDF. Worked with Praveen and them. They now want to recapture power. That's why they are going to that thing of the police. Why would you go and fetch Cachalia? Which track record has demonstrated that Cachalia is the best to deal with crime in South Africa? His first interview just told you we're in trouble. That thing of police is not a lecture room. Things are bad there. It's not a lecture room. So it's not helping us, Cyril, with anything. It's putting us into a deep crisis. It's not late. It's not late for Senzo to resign and save the country's resources and wait for the commission where he will clear his name. You know, when you resign and you go clean your name, the people themselves who are going to say, but this guy must be returned back to his position because he was an honorable man who said, I've got nothing to hide. I don't need a position to protect whatever allegations they've leveled against me. Let me resign. That step aside of theirs is factional. It's not real, it's factional. Because why? You don't have to be charged for you to step aside. The allegations must be so serious that your own fellow comrades must say, look, give us space to deal with these matters. How do you... those people are the ones who decide who gets charged, who doesn't get charged. They will never be charged, even when there's big allegations against them. And because you are saying technically they are not charged, they must remain in their positions. That is being pretentious. It's a false narrative that you are dealing with corruption. You are not. When it is one of your own, you don't apply principle. The principle is this guy should have stepped aside by now and help the president if he really loves the president and he works with the president in the same faction. But faction. We're making huge inroads. I mean, and it's scientific in the Western Cape. It's one of the provinces where we increased our numbers in the last elections. In this province. And stats shows you, I mean not stats, research shows you that the EFF is going to have a huge increase in the Western Cape and Eastern Cape. So we're here to consolidate the ground because this is where we're going to grow this year and going forward. There's no MK that is going to reduce us. No. It will reduce us amongst tribalists, not amongst the progressive South Africans. There's no MK that can reduce us. There's no MK that can replace us ideologically, politically, and otherwise. You saw yesterday in Parliament a mess in action. That's what you elected, South Africa. A mess. You are asked twice, I'm voting in support. I'm not sure if that chairperson is not MK inside or something. The NC must investigate that guy. Because he says, then they say we're in support. Then we pass. He goes back and says, hey, he thinks we're fools. He's playing a trick. He says, you said, how many are you? They said, no, 51. He said, okay, just start it afresh so that we can hear you. He's giving a chance again to correct herself. She says, we vote in support. Then we pass. We go. He closes the voting. That caucus almost collapsed yesterday of MK. Almost. Then they raised their hands. He says, what are you saying? No, we didn't understand. We didn't understand. You elect people who don't understand. We didn't understand. We're actually voting against. Hey. And the guy, Frolic, allows that. It's not principled. Once the voting is closed, it's done. It's done. He says, those who want to vote against their party line, raise your hands. Those who want to vote for the party line, raise your hand. Against the party line, vote, raise your hand twice. Then the third time he says, voting is closed. Look at that. They still don't correct themselves around that time. And then he gives them a special dispensation to correct. That's unprincipled. He's undermining the decorum and the integrity of that process. So I'm just saying to you, MK will never reduce us in numbers anywhere else, including in thinking. We're very effective opposition here in Parliament. When the TG started going for each and every vote like the way she was going, she behaved like she's not a leader and threw her twice. It's not because she was making a mistake. She was like, TG said we are going against, calling for a division. Then Angala. She threw her twice. And then when they said to her, yeah, what are you saying? She thought, if I say I'm voting against, it means I'm supporting this one. I'm not going to do that. And that issue was actually far much bigger than the emotions. She couldn't put the emotions aside and have to accept. We have never done that. When they object and call for division, we support them. We don't throw our toys and say, no, why do they go before us? No. And the chairperson clarified it there, that we take whoever comes first. So the growth of the EFF is very clear. Why is this MK going to reduce us? Because I was in 13 in Seshiu. I didn't find MK. South Africa is not KwaZulu-Natal. I think you're making a mistake. South Africa is not KwaZulu-Natal. We exist in South Africa. This is the only province who have never celebrated our anniversary in 12 years. Why? We're always told that the season is not good. It's raining season. That's why we did the dome. It's a raining season and windy and all of that. So our anniversary comes around this season. And we've had to take a bold decision that, comrades, we cannot have a province in the history of our organization which has never hosted a national celebration of the EFF, because we are a national organization. The first anniversary of MK was at Moses Mabhida. It must now go to Mthatha or Guyane. Let's see. We can do it. Well, higher education, Shema, it's so painful, man. You know, she's so young. She still has a chance to come back. I've seen people get demoted politically, and then they go rework on themselves, and then they come back. The first thing she must do is to stop chewing a gum in a meeting. She was still doing it even yesterday there in Parliament. The second thing is she must be humble and know that she doesn't know, and be prepared to be guided and be advised by proper people. Because only a person who doesn't know how government works would have advised her to do the things she did. You make a terrible mistake, you lie about people, including that character of senior council that he was chairing, Mutau. And Mutau comes and says, who? Me? I've never done that. And all of that. Now you get a second chance to go to a committee to now present, yourself in a different way and acknowledge your mistakes and say, no, this and that happened and all of that. No, she doesn't. She leaves the committee, she goes to a GBV program of a TVET college, when the TVET colleges are a responsibility of a deputy minister who couldn't go to the TVET because there was a committee of parliament here. Someone from the streets is misleading her. She's listening to someone who has no idea what we are dealing with here. There are certain things you don't do here in Parliament. And she should have known that. And you respond to your own chairperson, the chairperson from the same party with you, in a manner you are doing. I mean, you should be collegial with the chairperson. You should know that if anything, my protection is going to come from here. You attack a place where your protection must come from. Google it. Google. What's that? That was childish. Extremely girlish. Childish. She was not ready to be a minister. It's not too late. She must go back to the branch and learn and come back this way. She must, Budimana must never trust that DG. That's a man. There's a big problem there. That DG is the one who misled them. He worked with Blade, that DG. And Blade is still disgruntled and bitter about the removal from higher education. He will do anything and everything to undermine whoever is in that institution. I mean, Blade was asking one of the former Fees Must Fall students that, this Fees Must Fall, it looks like it was only designed for me. Why is it not happening after I left? He still wants to encourage people to do Fees Must Fall against his own government. Because he's not happy that he left higher education. But he must find a way to part ways with that DG and bring in a competent, qualified person who's not blading Zimande's stooch if he wants to succeed in that particular department. That's my take.
If you like this video content, grow with us and subscribe and stay tuned to iol.co.za for more breaking news updates, sports, entertainment, motoring, and current affairs.